Well, it's a really interesting time right now. I think the industry's spent probably the past 10, 15 years trying to figure out how to get video down broadband pipes, and that's been figured out now. 5 years ago, we started seeing TV delivered over things other than TV sets and other than set-top boxes to smartphones as they came out a few years ago, now tablets. And now I look around CES and it's almost like the first post-video CES. It's all been done now. Now it's a matter of refining the experience, making the experience more engaging for consumers, and by that it's a two-sided coin. One side is how does a service provider or content provider make money, and the other is how does it stay interesting enough to the consumer that they don't vacate and go elsewhere. There's so much competition now that especially with younger generation millennials, you asked about Dish. Dish has come out with Sling TV this week, or announced Sling TV this week. They've been working on it a while. It really had its genesis a year or so ago as an international over-the-top service. But now, if I'm a millennial, I care about sports. I'm that age where I care about football and baseball, so there's ESPN. There's a limited range of programming that complements what you get over the air and complements what you get from Hulu and Netflix and so forth. So I think it's strategically it was a very wise move for them to do, and I find Dish to be a real industry leader in that area.
Yeah. Cool. And how do you see this progressing over the next year, 18 months, this so-called disintermediation of what has been the traditional delivery through cable and satellite of premium channels?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things going on. One is how do we expand the opportunity? So now we can get things to this screen, this screen, this screen. That's great. I can share that with you. I can talk about it with you. I can use this screen to control the TV and have some kind of an experience on the device. I can multitask with TV. That's all wonderful and good. If I'm a service provider, I can't make any more money on bringing the TV experience to the next device. It's been proven now that you really can't charge extra, or at least not much extra for that. So where can I make money? Services outside of video. So you look at what companies like AT&T are doing, or Verizon. They're looking at Internet of Things we hear so much about. Well, one of those things is your car. What happens on the dashboard of your car? How do I get from the Las Vegas Convention Center over here to the Wynn Hotel without walking and losing my way? There's a whole infrastructure of companies and software and platforms that are enabling that opportunity, and companies like GM are monetizing that and splitting the revenue between GM and AT&T. The consumer wins because they have convenience they want in their car, and the auto manufacturers see people, they're very worried about younger generation sharing cars, renting cars, taking Uber, and not buying cars, so this is something maybe to attract that generation into the car. And a new opportunity for companies like AT&T, Verizon, the other carriers to bring content and services into a new screen. In fact, AT&T even includes the car in their mobile share plan. You buy a new car, it's a GM car, it's got an embedded LTE chip in it, you activate it on OnStar, and AT&T gets a revenue split from that. So there's the next opportunity, and it doesn't have video. There's TV everywhere, and there's TV everywhere, and there's really, depending on which version you're talking about, there's just plain old free internet video, and there's probably nothing too special about that. Usually video that's available for free isn't heavily protected, the value is low, so you can kind of set that aside. You take the next tier of TV that has its late window content, if you will. It's valuable content. Companies like Adobe protect that content for content providers and service providers. But then there's an even higher tier of protection where you don't want it copied, you don't want it moved from device to device. If I capture something, let's say here at the convention on video, and it happens to have some copyrighted content, it's possible now to embed rights into the content so that content can't be transferred to places where the content owner doesn't want it to go. So that whole picture is getting much more refined, much more sophisticated, and I think that'll continue.